The political landscape in Venezuela has undergone a radical and silent transformation. The fall of Nicolas Maduro was fast, loud, and broadcast to the entire world. U.S. Special Forces removed him from a heavily guarded military base, handcuffed him, and flew him to a cell in New York alongside his wife, Celia Flores. That was in January. Now, months later, the second act of this story is being written in a completely different way. In silence, without cameras, and without fiery speeches, but with surgical efficiency. The person leading this operation is the former Vice President, Delcy Rodriguez, and standing right behind her is the White House.
To understand what is happening, one must look at the figure now occupying the seat left vacant by Maduro. Delcy Rodriguez is a veteran of the Venezuelan Socialist Party, but she was never a charismatic leader or the natural successor to the regime. However, hours after Maduro's capture, she took command as interim president. While her initial public speeches were harsh against the United States to maintain appearances, the backstage reality was quite different. Most of the people standing beside her on that stage no longer hold their positions today. The reason is simple. Delcy Rodriguez is not governing alone. When the United States captured Maduro, the American administration made the rules clear to the new Venezuelan leadership. Cooperate, or we will be the ones coming back. High-ranking officials now describe the current mode of government as governing with a gun to the head. Delcy uses this permanent pressure of a potential U.S. intervention as leverage to attack figures who were once untouchable within the regime. In practice, Venezuela has become an American protectorate. In just 3 months, Delcy Rodriguez has replaced 17 ministers, reshuffled military commanders, installed new diplomats, and overseen the detention of powerful businessmen linked to Maduro. Relatives of the former dictator have been fired, and the Maduro family has been effectively cut off from lucrative state oil contracts. This has all happened without transparency or public explanation. Maduro's son, Nicolas Maduro Guerra, has been sidelined from state business, as have the children of Celia Flores. Even Tarek William Saab, the once powerful attorney general, was dismissed and isolated. One name stands out: Alex Saab. The businessman who made billions through preferential contracts was detained, and now Delcy's government is negotiating his extradition to the United States. There were no transparent trials, only detentions and official silence, leaving Maduro's former allies in a state of panic, wondering who is next. In March, the purge reached the heart of the armed forces. In a dramatic move, Delcy dismissed almost the entire military high command. The most symbolic departure was General Vladimir Pedrino Lopez, the Minister of Defense for over a decade and once one of the most powerful men in the country. He was demoted to the Ministry of Agriculture, a deliberate move made under American guidance. The Venezuelan armed forces were built as an anti-imperialist ideological pillar, but rewriting their leadership means shifting their global strategic orientation. The ease with which Maduro was removed from his military base without significant resistance still echoes in Caracas, fueling suspicions that he was betrayed by those closest to him. Sources indicate that the U.S. administration had been considering Delcy as a possible successor since 2025. As the internal purge advances, Venezuela is shifting sides on the international chessboard. The decades-old alliance with Cuba collapsed almost immediately, with Caracas halting oil shipments to Havana. Russia and China have seen their strategic allies swept off the board. Conversely, Western investors are returning in droves to the capital. Luxury hotels are filled with executives from the oil, mining, and tourism sectors. The traditional economic elites are now celebrating renewed access to the American banking system. Only one high-ranking official remains in office: Diosdado Cabello, the Minister of Interior. Wanted by the United States and a longtime rival of Delcy, he remains standing because he controls the collectives, armed groups capable of destabilizing the country overnight. Delcy chose to co-opt him instead of removing him. Cabello, sensing the change in the wind, rebranded himself. He stopped posing as the regime's pit bull and now presents himself as the guardian of national stability. even referring to Delcy as his sister. It is crucial to note that what is happening in Venezuela is not, for now, a democratic transition. There is no timeline for elections or political pluralism. What exists is a transfer of power within a reconfigured authoritarian apparatus under American supervision. Delcy Rodriguez is consolidating her power, Washington is consolidating its influence, and the military is being overhauled from within. Maduro was toppled in spectacular fashion, but the true transformation of Venezuela is happening now, quietly, office by office, and rank by rank, under the direct supervision of Donald Trump.